You should be able to click on the link. All right. Okay. Bye.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, good.
Jesus Christ.
Hi, Jeremy. Hi, Kevin.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Hello, Dennis.
Hi, Rob. I can't get my picture on here. I'm not sure what's going on.
Hey, Tim. Khalil, how are you? Linda, good to see you.
Hello. Good morning. Good afternoon.
I'm going to get out and come back in.
Okay. So, Jeremy, I see you twice on here.
Yeah, maybe I should. I'm in on my phone and I have it up on my my PC as well, but I don't have a camera on the PC, so I can see better.
Okay. It doesn't sound as though you've got two audio connections, so there's no feedback. That's great.
I do have just one connection, you're saying?
It sounds that way.
Yeah, it should be. I don't have a microphone or a camera on my computer.
Great. Anne Marie, are we expecting Charlie to join the call today? Charlie O'Donnell?
Charlie's on vacation, but I did see one of his staff people on here. Let's see. But oh, there she is.
Yeah, I have to wait for my IT person to get here. I can't figure out the camera.
Okay, Dennis. We'll
Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello.
Anne Marie, is there somebody from GMB here?
Yes, Jennifer Daisy is here from GMB. I just made her a panelist.
Okay, great. Then why don't we call the meeting to order? All the committee members are present, and the Anne Marie is ex officio, and Jennifer sitting in for Charlie O'Donnell ex officio. The next item is the minutes. Any corrections to the minutes? Do we have Janine on?
Janine is out sick today.
Or Anne Marie, are you? Can you maybe register any corrections to the minutes?
Sure.
Does anybody else have any? One thing I might mention, Anne Marie, is that Janine called Tim and me councilman, and we tend to be gender neutral. So we might want to revert to council person. Otherwise, they looked fine to me with, I think I had one clerical correction, but nothing else. I'd like to thank all the attendees who are on. We've got 12, and that's great. So also, is there a motion to approve the minutes of October 2nd?
So moved.
Who moved?
Tim did.
Is there a second?
Second, Dennis.
Thanks, Dennis. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So Anne Marie, you're kind of recording Are you recording anything about that? Okay, that's great.
But I wrote it down, but we're also, I mean, she'll be able to get the YouTube
True.
recording as well.
Then item B2 is the Zoom chat. Doesn't actually call for any action, but I thought that was very useful. And I was hoping that Lori Carter would be on because she included in her chat reference to a Jennifer Pomgratz at DENREC as being knowledgeable about the interface between the city and DENREC on the beach accesses.
Well, Jennifer is our lead contact on any dune permits.
I had a Jennifer Luoma years
That's
ago.
the same person.
Got it. Thank you.
She got married, Rob.
Good. Thank you, Dennis. And then also Laurie had asked who's on this committee and how did they find out? And I was going to tell her, but she's not on. So I guess she figured that out. So before we dive into the assigned streets, I thought I'd jump ahead a little bit and talk about the agenda for next time. A couple of us have suggested that we look ahead and try to figure out how we're going to tackle the issues and what issues we're going to tackle. So I suggest that be on the agenda for next week. And by then, we'll have a straw man for the committee to consider in looking forward beyond what we are currently doing, which is the inventory of obstructions. Any thoughts about that? All right, then we'll make that part of the agenda.
Rob, I'm sorry, I was on mute. May I ask a question?
Kevin.
Could you explain the procedure one goes through just to make sure that if there's going to be a quote straw man on the agenda, I'm not quite sure what that would entail. Can members of the committee make proposals? Can they make amendments? Can they offer something to the straw man? What is the procedure? Just want to make sure I understand.
The straw man, another word for it would be a draft of a plan for going forward. And of course, this is a committee product. So I'll provide a draft, but input is not just accepted, it's welcome.
Okay, so it can be discussed at the time. And so the fact that someone may have not submitted an idea in advance or a week in advance or what have you, it can still be considered at that time.
I think not only could it be considered, but that would be the right place to consider it so that everybody can hear the idea rather than having a discussion among us by email out of the public's eye before then. So I think once
That's not what I was getting at. I just wanted to make sure that if we wanted to offer something, whatever we were going to offer didn't need to be offered so that it could be included on the agenda in advance. It
Right.
can be an actual discussion of possible supporting or alternative language at the time.
Right, and as long as it's within the general subject of what is our plan for going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. Then thank you all for your work on this. Everybody finished the assigned street, and Linda distinguished herself by doing all of her streets. So let's, what I've got is I've printed out the comments that everybody made on the spreadsheet. And I hope to integrate the results of our discussion of those into a new workbook that I'll distribute before the next time. Sorry for the phone going off in the background. So without more, shall we ask the first person in item C1, now that we're on discussion of inspections of assigned streets, to tackle it, and that would be Tim on Midland Avenue. Tim, do you want to lead us through it, or should we just look at the comments you added to the comments that I input from GMB?
Why don't you do it that way, Rob? That would be, I think that would be a better way of doing it, more expeditious.
You had the got the laurel for the most addresses on a single street.
Yeah, it was remarkable how many houses are on that street.
And let's see, looking at the wrong one. What I see on here that you added is on going down the addresses from on the spreadsheet. On 102 Midland, you note that the driveway is 24 feet wide.
Right.
And is that a paved driveway? A concrete drive, I think GMB said.
I believe if that's what if they documented it as concrete, it would be concrete.
Okay. And I'm going to presume that if nobody comments on one of GMB's notes, that they're in agreement with it. So please make sure we understand if you don't agree. Then 125 Midland, you noted there's a utility pole. Is that in the right of way, or does that mark the edge of the right of way, Tim?
In the right of way. So my notes indicated it's in the right of way.
And there's a front walk, landscape beds. Are those within 10 feet of the pavement?
I believe so. It's very there's a lot on that site in a very compact area, and yeah.
Okay. And please, anybody else on the committee, jump in anytime. I'll just run through them unless somebody has a comment. 203 Midland, they right of way 14 feet from the edge of the pavement. So there's 14 feet of right of way.
Right.
There's a 8-foot wide gravel strip across the width of the lot.
Right.
There's a waste receptacle platform. Is that within 10 feet?
That's right. That's inside that area.
Okay. And you say driveway on LH side.
The left-hand side.
Say again?
The left-hand side of as you face the house, the driveway will be on the left-hand side.
Yeah. All right, 204 Midland. You say the entire right-of-way is a driveway apron, 9.5 feet wide.
Right.
I'm a little bit confused by that.
Well, from property point,
I understand.
from
I get it. It's a
Okay.
9.5 foot wide driveway that goes from the pavement through the right of way. Is that correct?
The entire right of way is a driveway, and it has the apron width is 9.5 feet wide, according to my notes and my measurements.
Is that 9.5 feet from the pavement toward the
Right.
house?
Right.
By the way, where did Jennifer, do you have the ability to put up photographs to share on a shared screen basis?
Jennifer, you're muted.
There she is.
I'm sorry, you're still muted. Anne-Marie, is there some central unmuting you can do?
It's saying that she's not muted, but we can't hear her. I don't know if the mic's not working.
She's very soft-spoken.
Extremely.
Well, while Anne-Marie, I guess you do not have that ability.
I can. Are you talking about the photos that we have up on the website?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can definitely, bear with me a minute. I can pull them up.
I'm not asking for a particular photo right now, but I just looking forward. If you have that ability, it might
So
be.
we're on Midland now, right?
Yep.
That's correct.
I mean, it probably isn't a bad idea to follow through with, so let's see. Okay. All right, so if I go to the
It's
end
page
of the,
404, Emery, if that helps.
Yeah. The page number's in the middle of each photo there.
oh, I see. So it's
The
four.
bottom.
Yeah, so I've got to scroll back a little. Oops, that's two.
There you are.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go. Okay. I can't see those little
Yeah,
numbers.
they're hard to see. Yeah.
So which number are we looking at now?
06.
Oh,
That
six.
says 06.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
So 205 Midland, I'll just move on from 204. 205 Midland, you've noted there's a gravel shoulder, otherwise there's no obstruction.
Right.
And I shouldn't say otherwise, that's not even an obstruction.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
206, GMB notes there's stone parking,
Correct.
and there it is. You note that there's a 54-foot wide front yard and a 45-foot wide parking area and 9 feet of grass. So the 45 and the 9 account for the entire width of 54 feet.
Right.
Okay.
And I think, yeah, I'm not 100% sure, but I think where you see that white car, I think that is actually 206. Jennifer, I think, took all the pictures, and she might have a better recollection than I do. Is that correct, Jennifer?
But Jennifer's still muted, I guess.
Yeah, that's okay.
You can always use the chat, Jennifer, if that,
Yeah,
if that
or a
helps.
thumbs up.
Oh,
Anyway,
she has already.
but go, yeah,
Okay, we'll keep going. We covered 206, so 208 Midland, GMB notes a concrete sidewalk. You note sidewalk and front steps are in the right of way.
right,
And they're 4.5 feet from the edge of the pavement.
right,
Then 209 Midland is a paver walkway. This is GMB's note. A paver walkway, a trash landing, and a concrete drive.
yep,
I'm waiting for Anne Marie to pause on the.
My notes are actually very similar to what GMB noted for that property,
Right.
if not identical.
Yep. Then
I don't know what
210
page that's on.
It's going to probably,
it seems to be hard for you to control the photo exactly.
yeah. Okay. There you, okay, now you're on the correct side. The odd number is on this side of the road, as I recall. Odd number homes are on the eastern or southern side of the street, and even, I believe, are on the other side.
Okay, so this is 209 and 209B.
Correct.
Paver walk trash landing. That's that wooden platform next to the concrete, I think.
I think that's correct, yes. Right.
Then
And you can see the stake in that picture with the orange flag. That's the right-of-way stake. So the utility pole would be just outside the right-of-way.
Got
And
it.
you have that right where the cursor is. That would be what they call the landing, the platform, the receptacle platform is what I call it, right? And then you have a driveway in right there, the concrete driveway. And you have a gravel shoulder.
Right.
I measure that gravel shoulder to be 8 feet wide.
Okay. Great. And Anne Marie, were you controlling the cursor with the pointer? Who's got the pointer?
I'm sorry, that's me. I was
That's
muted.
great. Well, that's
That's
useful.
helpful. It's helpful, Anne Marie. Thank you.
Yeah. All right.
Let me, by the way, Rob, excuse me. Let me, members of the committee, you'll notice as you go through my notes that I have measurements for, gravel widths and driveways and so forth. I had the benefit of the use of a measuring wheel. So that's not an approximation. That's actually what a field taken note measurement. Okay.
Thanks, Tim.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify that.
Then 210 Midland, GMB's note is there's no obstruction, and Tim's note is that the gravel shoulder is 8 feet wide.
Right.
212 Midland, GMB's note is Paver Drive, comma, tree. Let's see here.
Right.
The Paver Drive and a tree. And the Paver Drive extends, let's see, Tim's note is the lot width is 53 feet, less a 9-foot grass strip, the rest is driveway. Got it?
Right.
The pole in the right of way is 5 feet 8 inches from the edge of the driveway.
Right, and the right-of-way stake it's just outside that photo, but it's just around where that utility, where Emery has the cursor. It's right there.
Got it.
So that's the grass strip where the crepe myrtle's planted.
And the pole that's in the right of way, how deep into the right of way is it, Tim? Did you happen to note that?
I measured 5 feet 8 inches from the edge of pavement.
Yeah.
And the right-of-way is approximately the same, at the same place as where the pole is. It's within 12 inches, certainly, within 6 inches of it.
Okay, so
So the pole is inside the right-of-way.
So from the edge of the pavement to the pole is something like 9 feet, you're saying?
No, from the edge of pavement to the pole is 5 feet 8 inches.
All right. Your note says the pole in the right of way, 5 feet 8 inches from edge of driveway. So 5 feet 8 inches is measured not from the—
I'm sorry, it says from the driveway or from pavement?
Pavement.
Okay, right, that's correct. So the pavement is the edge of pavement of Midland.
I'm a little bit— Where is the 5 feet 8 inches measured from?
Okay, if Anne-Marie will bring her cursor to the approximate edge of the pavement and then run it back to where the pole is, that's 5 feet 8 inches.
Okay, so where you say from the edge of the driveway, I might say from the edge of the pavement.
That's a typographical error on my part. My handwritten notes say from pavement.
It's not an error at all. It's just,
Yeah.
to get our terminology consistent.
Yeah, exactly. It's a mistake on my part. Yeah.
So then 214 Midland, GMB's note is, and let's wait till Emery gets there. Great.
Yeah, that's it.
214 Midland is GMB notes Stone Drive, comma, tree.
Uh-huh.
Stone Drive, where would that be?
That's where that orange car is parked.
That's
The
a Stone
orange.
Drive, okay. And the tree is the small one next to the car?
I believe that's what GMB is noting.
Okay,
Correct.
I see the stake, so that makes sense.
Right.
Your note is that it's a corner lot, the entire width is gravelled for parking. The edge has pavers. The edge, okay.
Right, that's exactly right, Anne Marie, thank you.
And the Leland cypress is planted in the right of way at the corner.
That's correct, right there where that is, right. Thank you, Anne Marie.
Obstructs the view to the west.
Correct. As you're at that stop sign and you look to the west going up Cedar away from Savannah, there's a line of leylands and other material, and there's some obstruction of the road, of the sight of line of sight.
And that obstruction is actually on Cedar, isn't it?
That's correct. Correct. And I believe you're going to see that on GMB's comments, they captured the same statement or same observation, possibly on the next street on East Market. I forget where, but it's somewhere within their notes. They make a similar observation.
Okay. And you note, and in the column of safety concerns, you note the overgrown cypress along Cedar.
Right.
Then 217 Midland. Anne Marie, you're doing great. There.
I think that's the first house on the right, if I remember right. There's that white house there, I think. You're looking at the side of it.
GMB notes a concrete walk. You note that the sidewalk is the sidewalk in front of the house, paralleling Cedar, is 53 feet.
Midland.
Say again?
Isn't that Midland?
That's correct.
Not Cedar.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Midland.
right, Dennis. Thank you. So that the sidewalk parallels Midland, 53 feet. I guess it's the width of the lot, basically.
Correct.
And the shoulder is 8 feet long. Do you mean 8 feet wide?
Damn, I made another typo. Yeah, it's 8 feet wide, approximately 8 feet wide. The shoulder itself, where that blue car is parked.
Yep.
That's what I'm calling the shoulder.
Okay. And the house has a driveway with a garage.
Correct.
And on the public access entry, there isn't one for Midland, is there? The beach entry?
That's correct.
And on the alley, GMB notes that it's a dirt road path, and you note that it's accessible on both ends.
That's correct.
And as far as Cedar goes, between Midland, northwest to East Market, GMB notes that there are plants all along it.
And that's along Cedar, is that right? It said Rob?
Yes, along Cedar.
Yeah, that gets back to that line of, I believe that refers to the cypress that I mentioned earlier at the corner lot, where there's cypress, and I forget the other variety of trees that are there, but I know they're Leyland cypress, I recognize those.
So, okay, and in your notes, in the bottom row, which you added, when you say width on east side, you mean the width of the right-of-way. Is that correct?
Is that where I said 16 feet 8 inches?
Midland's paved width is 16 feet 8 inches. And then
Correct.
Width on the east side is 13 feet 4 inches. You mean
Correct.
the width of the right-of-way, I assume.
That's correct. That would be from the edge of pavement back to where the property, the orange flag stake is.
Yeah.
That's where I would have measured that.
And so doing a quick arithmetic, it looks as though the whole right-of-way is only about 41 feet wide.
Yeah.
Okay.
Approximately, yeah.
Well, committee, any questions or comments on Tim's notes?
None.
Hearing none. Dennis, you're up. And if I've got, if I printed out what you sent on West Canal, and I don't see that you added anything to GMB's notes.
I think I did.
Then I must be missing them. Let me go back and take a look.
Are we on
Well-
East Canal or West Canal, did you say?
West.
West Canal.
West Canal. I don't see them, Dennis.
Well, I printed out a copy and I have it in front of me and it has it on there.
Okay. I wonder, does anyone else have it? And did I
I didn't,
print the wrong thing?
When I got Dennis's email, I checked the document as well, and there was nothing there. I mean, there was no notes that from Dennis included.
I will be happy to run through them.
That would be
Sure.
good. That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis.
I will see what this problem is and resend it afterwards.
I had the same problem also, Dennis, earlier today. I had the same problem.
Would you like Anne Marie to,
If you could get the pictures, Anne Marie. You have to get a different set of pictures, I believe. That's West
West
Canal
Canal.
there. Like,
That's West Canal.
yes, that's from Bay Avenue looking towards Cedar.
Correct.
Where do you want to start, Anne Marie, here? We'll do the even number and then we'll do the odd number. So that way we don't have to flip back and forth across the street.
okay.
So if you get a view from Cedar up to Bay, that might be helpful. Okay, that's the first house. That's on the west side, 110. And there is, by that stop sign, you can park there. And then you go up and you have the driveway. And just past the driveway, there's the telephone pole, a mailbox, and a couple of those things right there. They're all right there in a cluster.
Yeah.
And that's where the right-of-way is. The right-of-way that from that stake to the paved surface is about 13 feet.
So there's a 13 feet right of way. The utility pole is in the right of way itself, isn't it?
Yes, the pole is in the right-of-way. The posts in the ground are in the right-of-way, and the mailbox is in the right-of-way.
And the mailbox and the posts are within 10 feet of the pavement?
They're inside the right-of-way, which is 13 feet off. You can see the stake.
Yep. Okay.
You want to do 112, Anne Marie? It should be the next one up. That's a better shot of it. Okay. 112, where that trash can is, right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. In the right of way, there's a driveway there, and then alongside the driveway, there's no obstruction to prevent parking.
And okay. And does the driveway extend the width of the lot, or is it less?
Say again?
Does
No, the driveway is just the paved surface down there by that trash can.
Right.
That little area right there,
Looks like
maybe 12, 14 feet, I don't know.
Yeah, an ordinary driveway. Okay, thank
But
you.
it's, okay, the concrete goes, not go very far into the right of way.
Okay,
And then as you see where this telephone pole and tree is actually the property of the next house, which is 114.
okay.
Amory, if you can get that shot from Bay Avenue down. Right there. Thank you. And that's a really wide concrete driveway that goes right up to the paved surface. There's no stake there, so I'm not sure, because some of these things are not a straight line.
Dennis, I think the property point, see where that orange or red arrow is with the orange dot in the street? I believe that's the property point.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm not seeing.
Yeah, in the paved surface of Bay Avenue.
Okay.
Correct.
Jennifer, do you want to try to talk again and see if we can hear you?
Yes, can you hear me?
We can. So, and just so everybody knows, Jennifer's the one who took all of these pictures and put the report
That's right.
together.
Nice
So-
job.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Great job.
You are correct, though. You're going to find those stakes in the road on a couple of the roads where the right-of-way is actually in the street.
So
Yeah.
the street goes further than the right of way in a couple of places.
Correct.
Okay. And that's at what? That's at 114?
Yes.
That's right.
And
And that's on the Bay Avenue side of it, though.
That's correct. That's Bay Avenue. That's Russ Palmer's house.
Right. The driveway is on West Canal, though.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Right.
Dennis, this is Kevin. Do you happen to remember, I think you had mentioned this to me before, is this another one of those examples of when Bay Avenue was widened and improved multiple years ago? To keep the street somewhat straight, the city had to get a license or had to work out a right-of-way, not a right-of-way, but work out a deal with the property owners to run the actual street over their property?
Well, I think when Bay Avenue, Bay Avenue wasn't widened. I think it was like 2011 when they redid Bay Avenue, but it wasn't widened. Where some of these houses, I don't know how many, but my neighbor across the street, his property line goes probably about a foot into Bay Avenue. And they gave the city an easement to put Bay Avenue on their property. And it's been like that forever. It didn't just happen when they redid Bay Avenue. And there may be other instances of the same thing. And that may be exactly what we have here, that property, Jennifer can help us, that property of 114 may extend into Bay Avenue to that point. Is that correct, Jennifer?
I don't believe so, because I think if you're looking straight down that particular street, we're talking about 114.
I'm talking about the property line of 114 on the Bay side, does it extend into the Bay Avenue? That was the question Kevin's asking, I believe.
I didn't capture that in the picture, and
Okay.
It might sort of run when you're going down Bay Avenue, it may run sort of along with that property stake.
Okay.
But I don't know for sure if it extends in. I'd have to look at that again.
All
But
right.
Dennis, I think to the point is, I know it occurs on your street, I believe.
Yes, it does.
And I know I'm almost positive it occurred at the corner of East Canal and Bay Avenue. They had the same issue.
Okay. And I'm sure, Kevin, there may very well be other ones along there too.
Exactly, my friend. That's what I was just trying to clarify. This may be occurring elsewhere. Thank you.
Okay.
Maybe I'm being slow, Jennifer, but if we look at that red mark in pavement, if that's the property line, then the pavement goes on the Bay Avenue side, goes into the property.
Oh, the pavement does. I would assume to say yes.
Okay. Whereas on the West Canal side, the property goes into the pavement. Property goes into the right of way.
Yes.
It looks as though there's a timber curbing that goes around from both on Bay and on
Yes,
West.
there's 4x4s there,
Right.
Yes.
parallel, right there on the grass.
Okay. Then, Dennis, you want to lead us on?
Want to go to the other side of the street, Anne Marie, and if you can do the same view down on the east side. Just find a picture. They're right there. That's one. Now the grass surface right there before the house, between Bay Avenue and that house, that grass surface right there is the driveway to a house. If you're looking at that picture, if you go up to the stop sign and turn right, go back where you were, right there. Now all that grass right there, if you're looking at the picture, if you go from the right-hand side to the left, that goes into a garage, which is part of 413 Bay Avenue. So that property goes from the next street over, all the way down to West Canal. And that's their driveway into that. It's all grass.
So that lot is actually takes up the entire block. Is that correct, Dennis? Is that what you're
I
describing?
understand that's between both streets. If you walk up towards Savannah Road from there, that'll take you to the garage and then a house, and then there's another street. I believe that's East Canal.
So the driveway you're referencing is off of Bay Avenue, not off of Canal, right?
Well, the entrance is off of West Canal, is what I'm saying. The entrance to the garage up there is off of West Canal. And that property is right from that gray house to Bay Avenue is the property of 413 Bay Avenue, not the house in front of that you see.
Oh, so the house we're looking at is not 413?
No, it's not. Is all I want you to look at is the grass between Bay Avenue and the gray house. That
Is there,
area-
Anne Marie, is there the next photograph? Does it show West Canal from a different perspective of that lot that Dennis is talking about? There you go. That would be it right there. Is that correct, Dennis?
Well, that garage that you see is on the other side of Bay Avenue, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, and that's it. Yeah, but
The grass,
yeah.
see that arrow?
Yeah,
That's that white car is parked.
right.
That grass area where the white car is parked goes to a garage. You can just see the side of the corner of it right there.
That's correct.
And
Yep.
that property, 413, goes from West Canal, I believe, over to East Canal. So it's not part of West Canal, but the driveway is on West Canal.
Yeah, that's okay. But you surveyed that, right?
Who were you addressing?
You, Dennis. Did you
I didn't
survey
survey.
413?
Well, I mean, I'm telling you that's a driveway. That's all.
Okay.
It's a driveway to that house, and the house is not on West Canal, it's on Bay Avenue.
Okay.
And then when you come down to the next property, which is the double garage there with the truck, you've got that wide driveway, and then you've got some 4x4 that comes across the grass.
And what is
And
that
the-
house number, Dennis, please? Oh, that
Um,
house. 413. Okay. No, 113.
113.
Thank you. Thank you.
And if you come down to 111,
Yep.
Well, that's a better view of 113. You can see the
Yeah.
driveway alongside the house and then the part that goes into the double garages there, the two garages.
Right.
And then that one right there is 111. And you see the trash receptacles there, the little container, and the wooden piece on the ground there.
Right.
And you have the landscaping in there.
So the GMB's note, Dennis, is stone drive, comma, trees, comma, landscape.
Yeah, and there's a stone driveway in front of that red vehicle that goes to the yellow house, 111.
Okay, and there's also, you also noted that there's a trash receptacle.
It's right there where you see the two trash cans.
Yep.
Now, the right-of-way on both sides of West Canal is approximately 13 feet.
Say
Okay.
again, the driveway on both sides of West Canal?
The right-of-way on both sides of West Canal, the
Okay.
right-of-way is about 13 feet.
Got it.
Now, can you come down to the next house, Anne Marie? It's on the corner. It would be 109, that one. I don't see that in the GMB notes, but that is 109. I would call it 109. And you can see where they have the 4x4 where the grass curb is, some landscaping, and there is a driveway alongside of the house. It's not paved, it's just the grass.
Jennifer, can you help us with the numbering?
Yes, hold on a second. I'm trying to go to, there we are. And this is West Canal, correct?
Correct.
That's correct.
West Canal is 260. All right, so on West Canal, this may have been one that we didn't update as well. You've got you start at, well, of course, I have it as 413 West Canal, but I think we've determined that that's actually off of Bay.
Yeah, 413 is up at the other end of the street.
Which I just went by the number, not realizing, thinking that it was Bay, West Canal.
Sure.
So 113 would be the next one. 111. On my notes, I have 109.
That's what I have. I don't see it in the
but I'm
in the
thinking
schematic.
that this 113, 111, I don't have anything on there for 109. You are correct.
Okay.
Okay, so Dennis, we'll rely on your observations then. So you said there's a 4x4 timber curbing, landscaping, and a...
You can see it right there. It's just right down the street, straight down the parallel to West Canal.
Yep. And what is, Emery, I can't see the number of this photo, the address number on the photo.
There isn't any. Oh, there it is.
Well,
109.
I'm sorry. What is the number? Hey, Mary, pull up the photo a little bit. What is the number of the photo?
Well, we just got a chat that says it's 109 as well.
Yeah. What is that number right there in the middle of the photo at the bottom? What is that number there? I can't see it.
It's 328.
Thank you.
Can you point, Emery, what you're looking at?
Photo number.
It's very small.
Oh, it sure is.
Which is why I got right in there to see it.
All right.
But it's that's page number or photo number 328. Is that right?
Yes.
Thank you, Anne-Marie.
And thanks, Dennis.
Okay, now when you drive down West Canal to Cedar, to the right, there is no obstruction. And from West Canal to, I think the next street over is Vermont, there is no obstruction to parking on Cedar Street at all.
I'm sorry, can you back up a little bit. So between Cedar from West Canal to Vermont, there's no obstruction?
There's no obstruction from West Canal to Vermont along Cedar Street.
Great,
You can park a car in the right of way. And
great.
there's no line of sight obstruction. Now going to the east, there is no obstruction to parking along Cedar. However, there is, as you can see right there, a little bit of trimming on there that might affect the line of sight.
Yep. No obstruction to parking, but a possible obstruction to view.
Correct.
Okay. Thank you. And did you take a look at the beach access point?
The beach access point there is some parking at the end. I think one of the photos has a picture of it. The one that had that garage on the other side.
Okay.
But there is some area where you can park. And I believe there's an entrance to a garage in there as well. That's why it's carved out. The garage would be on the east side of that access way.
Right.
Thanks, Dennis. That was very thorough.
Thank you.
Dennis, may I ask you a couple questions, please?
Sure.
Do you have the driveways that were on the west side of the street, and there's one, I believe, on the east side. I believe there were several that were paved, and they were described as wide. Do you have any measurement, any step off of how many feet wide they are?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you.
So I think we're on to.
Can I ask a quick question first?
Please.
I'm a little fuzzy as far as the encroachments because I know some people report the utility poles, the mailboxes, the driveways. I didn't count the driveways too much because I figured, well, if they got permits to do the driveway, who are we to quibble? I didn't really consider that an encroachment, especially if they were extra wide. I'm assuming the city, gave them the permit to do the driveways.
We don't know that.
I believe that's correct. I mean, you have to submit a permit, get an application to build there, and those things were approved and they were built.
All right. And when the driveway extends into the right-of-way, though,
Yeah.
the question of depth as well as width.
Right.
But is that something that the city is going to say, I'm going to take up so somebody can park there? I don't think the city approved those things.
Dennis, I have no idea. It's not what we're engaged in at this point. All we're doing is noting what's in the right-of-way, especially what's within 10 feet of the pavement.
But I think that was part of Linda's question, and I was trying to answer her question.
Okay. I think other people have been noting where the driveway goes, is paved up to the pavement. So, and Linda, you're saying that that's not something you did?
No, as for new construction, and I really didn't, I just assumed that to do that, they had to have a permit, if it was approved by the city. And if you have a driveway into the right-of-way, the city must be aware of it. I don't know. I'm not, obviously I'm not an engineer or, I just, when I did the encroachments, I was considering plantings and, things that the people had put in after the fact.
And that's probably more useful anyway, but let's go with what you've got down here. So do you want to lead us through it, or shall I do that? And actually, before I do that.
What street is Linda on? So I can bring up the.
We're talking about Delaware now. And Jennifer, maybe at this point, you can help us make sure we're looking at the right number.
Sure. Hold on just a second.
Delaware is going to be, Delaware is going to be 261 through 274.
Excellent.
And this is where the address written on the plat was different from the address reflected in the notes.
Correct. And I think we corrected that.
I
I'm not.
think we did, but the trouble is you know, I was the one who did the correction. And so let's make sure I got it right.
Okay.
So I've got the note for 5 Delaware from GMB is trash box. Is that what you've got?
Hold on just a second.
Rob, may I interrupt you for a second?
Yes.
I think it might help everyone, possibly just me, but when we go to each street, start the conversation with each street, could we do a quick orientation? So this is great to see where it says Delaware, but that should be, I guess that's Delaware looking at it westward. Is that correct? That, you know, in other words, tie that down to something. Where is, for example, Cedar
This is
Street?
just,
This is
that, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Tim, you're
it's the
correct.
corner
That is
of
looking at Delaware
Cedar.
Avenue, looking west.
That's, yeah. Okay, that's all. I think it would just be helpful for everyone to get it in their mind, what we're doing here, where we are. Thank you. Thank you. That's helpful. Thank you. That's excellent. Thank you, Kevin.
And Dennis, when you refer to east and west, I have it as northwest and southeast.
Well, west would be towards the inlet, east would be towards the ocean, Savannah Road.
Right.
And when they do, north would be the bay side, south would be the canal side.
Right.
Okay.
I think that's a frame of reference we should all use.
Yeah.
Let's try.
That's a little different than what GMB did, I think.
Yeah. Because
Correct.
I think that Lewis Beach actually runs northwest to southeast, which makes it confusing.
Yeah, it does.
We'll adopt the convention that you use, Dennis, which is west is to the inlet, east is to Savannah.
Correct.
Okay. Then Linda, you noted the same thing GMB did, that there's a trash box in the right of way.
Yes,
And is that within 10 feet of the right of way?
yes, it is.
Okay. Then on,
That view is Cedar Street, right?
Correct. It looks
But
like
you-
it, yeah. With
There's
those
no
old-
obstruction, there's no, no, go back to where the picture you just had, that one. No, back where you were parallel to Cedar Street, there. There's no obstruction to parking on there. On that, in that picture.
can you go back?
Go back up a little bit, right there, stop. There's no obstruction to parking there.
And the trash box, is that the one to the left of the trash can? Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that because
No, no.
that's on Cedar, you're on Delaware,
Yeah,
which is going to
But the
be,
question is, some of the information is along Cedar as well. And since you were on that picture, I just point that out.
Right, that's true. So at 5 Delaware, the notation of a trash box, is that on Delaware or on Cedar?
that one's on Delaware.
Okay.
I'm sure I just wrote that picture.
So you can see it, I think, on page 268. It's right by the mailbox.
Yep, there we go. Okay. And mailbox. Then number 7 is just says Clamshell Drive, and Linda, you don't note anything there at all.
No, like I said, I didn't note anything about the driveways, and
No, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Then number 8, GMB's note is concrete drive, and landscape. And the landscape is timbered.
Yes.
Okay.
What's that house number again, please? 8, number 8.
Eight,
Thank
that's number 8. And it's a corner lot.
Huh.
8 Delaware is, yeah, that's right. And
Because we were on the odd side of the street, weren't we, a minute ago, the house before?
we were, I'm just going down the spreadsheet, which.
Yeah, I understand what you're doing, Rob. Yeah, okay.
but we can do-
Jennifer, can I, or Linda, where exactly I don't see a stake on this. Maybe it's on the prior one. Oh,
It's
there
right-
it is.
It's
right there,
on the
see it?
landscaping.
So there's a good bit of that lawn area
Yeah,
that's in the right of way as well.
yeah. And that's a raised planting bed there.
Yeah, but that's close to the corner where people can't park anyway. But out in here,
But
my guess is technically somebody could park, but it's going to create probably discontent.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's widely true. Okay. Then I'm just going down the list. Is it easier for you, Anne Marie, if we look at, go down the same side of the street? Or not? No, here's 10. Let's look at 10. The photo for 10 is creeping up.
Okay, 10 basically just had that, there's a few plantings there, there's bushes.
Yep.
The stake's kind of right in the middle of those bushes.
Okay, you don't make a note on 10, but I guess that's because you didn't have anything to add to GMB's note.
No.
Is that bush, do you think, is 10 feet back or not? Not quite.
It's probably 7.
Okay. Then let's go down to 12 since you've got it almost there in the
Yeah,
front.
12. And the bushes there on the corner are in the encroachment, and they do prevent your line of sight from turning onto Cedar.
Okay. And let's see what else you say about it. Yep, you say that exactly that. All the above are within the 10 foot, 5, 8, and 12. Then I think the next one is we're looking at 11.
I don't have an 11 Delaware.
Yeah, it's number 270.
Okay.
My computer seems to be possessed because it just went up a bunch of pages without me touching anything. So now.
We'll just tour Lewis Beach today. Huh.
Well, let's see.
So
What I've got, there's 7.
is this it?
Yeah, it's going to be number 270. You're close.
Is that it?
No, one more, I think.
Okay.
Two more. There. Now this is
one's
interesting.
270. Do we have different versions?
I don't think so, unless, are you
You may-
using the one that I sent over yesterday?
I am not. I have not updated what we have on our website.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
that was-
I'm not able to share because I'm actually zooming in from my phone.
Wow.
I don't think I can share.
Okay, Jennifer, I need your help in straightening out the numbers on our spreadsheet.
Sure.
The note of, I think the confusion was between 9 and 11.
Yes.
And what is your note?
You know what, Anne Marie, the picture you have is it.
Okay.
Yours says 9 Delaware, but we actually updated that yesterday, and it says
Right, that was
it's
one of the ones
11
that you
Delaware.
changed. Okay.
So this, what you're looking at, is actually 11 Delaware,
Great. All right.
Okay.
and you can see the stake right next to the pole.
And that, Jennifer, you're standing in effect on Cedar looking towards the bay at that point. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
And all we see is a gravel drive in the right of way. Is that correct?
Yeah, there's some type of pole there, it looks like, but I'm not really sure what that is. Not the telephone pole, but to the left of it.
Well, that's the mailbox.
Oh, that's the
mailbox.
mailbox. That's the mailbox. Sorry, I'm looking at a little tiny screen.
And then we got the fire hydrant itself. But that seems to be pretty much near the utility pole. But there is a fire hydrant in the right of way. Okay. Then I think we've covered everything on Delaware except for 12. No, we've covered everything on Delaware except did you get a chance to look at the at Cedar between Delaware and Connecticut?
Yes, there is an alleyway.
Say again?
There is an alleyway between the two of them. Let's see. There is an alleyway that can be accessed from Cedar, but when you get down to Bay, they've created a berm so you can't drive onto Bay Avenue.
Okay. Thank you. Is it, when you access it from Cedar, you can access it with a vehicle? It's clear enough?
Yeah, it's a stone drive. And as I say, you go down almost to Bay, but you can't access Bay because of the landscaping berm they have there.
Got it. And then, did you get a chance to look at the beach access point?
The beach, no, I did not.
Okay. And on Cedar between Delaware and Connecticut, looking west, did you get a chance to look at that?
Yes.
GMB noted that there were plants at 12 Delaware that seemed to be in the right of way.
Let me go back to the pictures. Oh, where are we now? On Connecticut?
We're trying to look on Cedar between Delaware and Connecticut.
So your Delaware North, or Delaware and Cedar North picture should
That's
sort of
actually
show
west.
that.
Yes, and I had mentioned that where all these bushes prevented your line of sight.
Yes, that's right, you did. Thank you. Okay, Linda, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
And we're on to, let's see now. Khalil, I think you're up. No, I'm sorry, Kevin. On Oregon?
Oregon's going to be on page 194, Anne Marie.
I just wanted to say, as we look at Oregon, I'm working off I have been working off the slide deck that has a total number of pages of 419.
Yes.
So if I reference it, I know there have been other numbers I've seen, so just wanted to make that clear. I also noticed that it's 10 after 5, so I thought what I might do, Rob, is instead of, I would just try to provide something in summary so that everybody has a chance to speak. I think if you look at page 197 in the official document from the city of the right-of-way survey, you can see you're looking down Oregon and towards the bay. And I think that one provides a pretty good idea in a quick session of what we're dealing with on this street. And I know there's another person on the call who knows this street imminently, so I will do my best to provide him time to speak as well. If you're looking on page, again, 197 down, you can see the no parking signs that the city has put up. I think I've listed a couple of items that are in the way there, but again, this is a no parking on this side of the street regardless. So this is also a very unique street in that there are only 2 homes on this street, and the home, the second sort of what is traditionally the middle house, that property actually goes all the way to Bay Avenue. So it's a very large lot. But again, I think you can see what's in here: mailboxes, a fence, and other things of that sort. If you were to go now to what is 198 on mine, I think what you will see, and this is another one, this is one of these streets where the street is not in the middle between the two lines. And so the right of way, as we're looking at on page 189 towards Cedar, it's much wider on the left than it is on the right. I think, again, if you go one more, no, wrong way. When you look at it, it's basically that sidewalk is in the right of way. And that people, since there's no parking as again, we're looking down Oregon towards Cedar, there's no parking on the left. People, and help me out here, Dennis, people sort of park between those rocks and those little concrete barriers and so on. They sort of they're half on the street, half in the sand there.
If you get that view of Cedar looking up, that one there, well, that's from Bay down. The people
I'm looking
park,
at the one Bay down. You want to go to the previous
that's
one?
good right there.
Yeah.
The people park on the west side where the sidewalk is, and that pin in the ground on Bay Avenue, the orange pin, that's the property line. That's the right-of-way line. And also, that's the one where that pin is also the property of that house on the right-hand side.
Yeah.
That's one where they gave a license to the city.
Dennis, it's for those who have access, it's slide 204. Shows that perfectly.
And that's it. That's slide 204, Kevin.
Right.
Yeah.
And that again is where the Bay Avenue itself is in the property owner's property.
And that is house number which?
That would be at the corner of Bay.
104 according to this picture.
104. Okay, and so 104 on the Bay Avenue side, the pavement goes into its property, and on the Oregon side, it goes into the right-of-way. Half the sidewalk and the rocks.
Well, the sidewalk, yes, the sidewalk and the rocks are in the right-of-way. As I understand, that sidewalk has been there almost as long as I have been alive, and I'm old. So whether that has any value here, not my age, but the length of its duration, that's been there a very long time.
I can. Those houses were built before 1930, and that sidewalk was put in when they were built.
Dennis, you weren't around then either, so.
No, I wasn't.
So
no, I wasn't. Not
Okay,
long
so-
after that, though.
But
So
but I
Rob,
suspect the stones are newer.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
And those stones don't come from this area around here.
okay. And
Well, I think, Tim, the stones were painted white at some point.
I see.
When-
Oh, okay.
When you look at them, I don't think that they are.
Did
Um,
can you, a minute ago, Kevin, you and Dennis engaged in a little description of where the cars park along those stones or rocks. Do they park between, they don't park between the rocks and over the sidewalk, do they? They actually
No,
park.
no, I don't, well, I've never seen that unless someone's driving
They
a
park
tank. They park,
alongside of the rocks,
and so they're in,
facing the canal.
so they're in the street.
Okay, got it. So they're in the street. Thank you.
Right. The more available land is on, if you're looking at slide 104, the more available land would seem to be on the left-hand side of the street. But
Oh.
again, the city has chosen to put up no parking signs on that side.
Okay. Interesting.
Kevin, on
Okay.
your note about the
Yes, sir.
alley, thank you for the note on the alley. I infer from what you write, where you say there is no room for additional parking, that you think we're looking to find parking in the alleys. I don't think that's what we're trying to do. But where the alley is clear, it enables people whose properties back onto the alley to access their properties from behind, possibly giving them more parking. Not
Well,
for
I appreciate that clarification very much, Rob. As you know, am not totally sure exactly what we're doing in our entirety here, but I was simply trying to clarify that if you're looking for additional parking spots, there's going to be none on the alley. They do provide access to people's homes from that side, and they do use those for parking. Moreover, there is now construction going on that the city has approved, which is not reflected in this survey, which is going to move that alley around a little bit. So I just was trying to clarify that if, as far as we're addressing alleys, where in fact some of the alleys do seem to have a parking spot or two available on them. In this case, they do not.
Thank you. Do you happen to know the address of the house under construction that you mentioned?
I think it's
It's-
1309
It's on
or
Bay.
7. 1307, I believe.
It's
There's new
Bay
house
Avenue.
there, it's 1309. I believe it's 1309.
It's
And
1309 and that picture is on page 183.
That's the house under construction, we think?
no, 109 is completed. The house next to it is 107, I believe, and that's the one under construction,
107.
I believe.
Okay.
That's on Bay Avenue now.
Yep. When you say it's on Bay Avenue, the address is an Oregon address.
No, I'm
No.
not talking, we're talking about, Kevin's talking about the alley. If you look up Oregon Avenue from Cedar, you got the houses on the east
There you
side,
go,
the
that's-
west side. And behind those houses is an alley between Cedar and Bay.
Yeah,
And that's where people access their homes from the back.
right.
If you go up that alley to Bay Avenue, on the left-hand side facing Bay Avenue, there's a brand new home and another home under construction. They're addressed at Bay Avenue.
Dennis, if I could jump in, if you go to page 176 in the slide deck, you will see everything Dennis has just shared very clearly. The new house now under construction is blank. There's no number assigned to it. You can see 1309, which is the Bay Avenue address, then blank, and then 104, which is on Oregon, as we've been discussing.
Okay. And so, yeah, I can see that. And so,
Thanks, Kevin. That clarifies it.
Right.
Now, thank
okay. Kevin, thank you very much. Anything more on that?
Nope.
You? Any comment?
Oh, yes, there is one other thing to you normally ask this question. At the end of Oregon, there is beach access, and there has traditionally, historically been, again, we can ask the committee historian on this, but I believe for time immemorial, there has been public parking available at that beach access on one side. You can barely see it in one of the pictures. I was bouncing around in here to try to do this. But there is some beach access parking there. And it has
Right there it is, right there at the end.
right. And it is, you kind of can't see it in that picture, but it's there, and people have used it as long as I've been in this area.
Okay. And you note that? What,
I noted that.
and under public access entry. Not that it's been there forever, but that there is parking there. Okay. And then Khalil on Illinois.
Yep.
Do you want to walk us through it, or shall I just read off the notes that you added to GM?
I'm happy. Do we want to move over the pictures over to Illinois? I'm happy to go through it.
Great. So, Jennifer, where will we find Illinois on the?
My screen is fine.
125.
I can see everything I need to. They can hear me. I can hear them. All right, that's all. Pardon?
I would have to have been here at the start.
Yeah.
So if we can get the picture that faces Bay Avenue, that'd be great. We're close right there. There you go. So this street's pretty interesting in that on the right-hand side, farther up from Bay Avenue towards Cedar, similar to Oregon, there is an old sidewalk as well that goes down about halfway and then just simply stops. You can't see it there, but it's up there on the corner where that car is parked on the road.
Mm-hmm.
That also, that lot up there also happens to be an area that since GMB did the survey, there has been some new landscaping done. And there, you can't see it there, but right where that car is, there is mulch and some flowers that have been planted directly on, right next to the Illinois Avenue. That's the only thing I discovered throughout all my streets where there was something that has been done since GMB was there. There used to be a wrought iron fence there that was taken down, and some landscaping was recently put in there. But as you go down the right-hand side, I think almost every home here has a mailbox or trash receptacles in the right-of-way. Yeah, right here where the car is, right there on the left where it says for rent, that whole area from the no parking sign there on Bay around to the car, right there about 3 feet wide is landscaping that goes all the way to the trash receptacles, and it has, again, almost brand new mulch and flowers planted. So that's something that's new there that is not that since this study has been done. You can of course see the sidewalk that goes there that I referenced earlier. Other than that, on that side of the road, there's just grass. There's a driveway and the home next to it, and on the home closer to next to Cedar, there's a substantial amount of landscaping that's within 10 feet in the right of way there. But other than that, the middle home there just simply has parking, a gravel parking.
Khalil, just to make sure we understand it, the MB stands for mailbox. in your notes.
Yeah, MB mailbox, TC was trash cans.
And by trash can, you don't mean a wheeled trash can, but a trash receptacle?
Receptacles, correct. Correct. So there you can actually see on that side how far the sidewalk does come down. And the people that live there just simply use that as a driveway. They just drive right in. And I've seen, you know, they can put 2 or 3 cars in there. I've seen it many times. The house, if we're going back towards Cedar right now, you'll see substantial amount of, right there. There you go. Excellent. You can see there. Yeah, right there. Not 11, but what number is that? Well, you can see where right there where the right of way is, marker. It's right next to the utility pole. And there's a fair amount of old landscaping that's been there for quite a while. That house is down the street from where I live, and I've always known that area to be heavily mulched, and so it goes straight down towards right to the end of the property line. There is a small little, if I'm correct, there's a small little driveway there too.
And what number, is that, Kevin?
Yeah, I can't see it on the top. If you can, let me see, what was
A
that?
little bit.
That's
Marie?
11, Illinois.
11, thanks.
11.
Is that a photograph taken with the person standing in Bay looking down Illinois? Is that, give me my bearings there, Khalil, please.
No, that was Cedar, the original, like the one we're looking at right now.
Well, the previous photograph was where I was.
What was standing on Cedar looking towards Bay.
I
Correct.
see. Thank you.
Yeah. So you can see from there, there is some gravel, parking there,
Yep.
but also the mailbox, as well as that tree there and bushes and landscaping is within the right of way.
Okay. And the alley, say again?
Why don't we go to the other side of the street, and then we can discuss an alley that's there as well. So this is a home that you can see the stake there. They have, again, a mailbox, the gravel parkway there. This home, they usually fit 3 or 4 cars sometimes, and they park diagonally in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so they can get a fair amount of cars in there. Yes, that if this goes a little farther out towards Bay, where the stake is, there's more trees and shrubbery type bushes there. It does create it is a little bit of a hindrance to the sight of lines if you're driving down Bay, but it's nothing that some little trimming wouldn't solve. As we go farther down now towards Cedar on this side, you'll see, I think the next home that was, yeah, well, that's a different angle of 10. Yeah, here's 10. Thank you. Again, mailbox, the fence. I'm trying to remember. I think that fence part of that fence was in the right of way.
How much of that fence is in the right of way, would you
I
estimate?
think it was like 2 feet. Like 2
You
feet
can
of that.
see it on the next
Where-
picture.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah. Actually, a little bit more. Yeah, you can see right there.
Right.
And there's some pretty nice landscaping. There's that tree there, that bush there as well. That's all within the right of way. This home also uses that little gravel spot in the front for its parking. And unlike the home before that, it's parallel parking they use. Usually put one, I always usually see 1 car parked there. And now as we're moving, down towards Cedar, this last home, there really is, other than the trash receptacles, hardly any encroachments. One more, let's see, again, there we go. right there, I mean, other than the driveway, there's really no encroachments there. There is just partially, these bushes over here are, you know, some of the, you know, a foot or 2 feet are within technically the right of way. But other than that, it's just the fire hydrant, their grass, and of course that driveway.
Khalil, the bushes, do they block the line of sight at all?
No, not at all. No, there's a substantial amount of room between the bushes and cedar, and you know, cars are visible and bikes are visible. It's not a problem.
Great.
There is also an entrance to the beach at the end of Illinois. It's just a simple entrance. There's no opportunity for parking there at all. It's just a small little walkway that goes in down here towards the end, but cars never park there or anything like that. So
Could they?
no, there's not enough room.
Okay.
No, they would it would simply block. It would block half or even more. It would have to sit in half of Bay Avenue. So yeah, it's just simply for what, there's no bikes park there sometimes, but no vehicles.
Khalil, on Illinois Avenue, are there any no parking signs posted along the curb line on either side of the road?
No, parking is permitted on both sides.
Okay, thank you.
And Khalil, back to the beach access point.
Yep.
We don't have a photo of it, I don't think. You say there's no parking opportunity. Is that because there are obstructions on the two sides of it, or is that because it's not deep enough?
It's not deep enough. The tree line and the walkway comes right to Bay. Yeah, and there's, yeah, you can see that actually towards the end there, you'll see the yellow sign there, the little yellow sign.
Yeah.
Those large trees behind that are right where the entrance is.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So yeah, there's really no opportunity to park there.
And then how about Cedar between Illinois and Michigan?
Interesting. Between Illinois and Michigan, there is a little dirt path. It's enough to, it's enough. It's, well, I shouldn't say it's a dirt. It's kind of a dirt roadway. I've never seen any cars drive there. It is used for parking for 11 Michigan and 9 Michigan. They have access from there, so you can pull into that little driveway between Illinois and Michigan, and it goes all the way obviously through to Bay, but it does provide an entrance to, I think it's 11 Michigan right there, that they park there. And then there's another home behind that was recently constructed that also has parking. So that little little cutway is used as access to parking for those 2 residences.
And just the 2, as you go all the way to Bay, are there other houses that it could provide access to?
Nope, just those 2.
Okay, thank you.
Just those.
That's very useful. And then I was asking about Cedar Street between Illinois and Michigan. There we go.
Yeah, it's just right.
Say again, sorry.
If you're looking at right now we're looking at the Illinois sign. If you just keep going down towards the large pine tree.
Yeah.
That's right there. The little road is right before that on your right.
So beyond the alley, there are plants in the right of way. Cedar.
We're talking about on Cedar here, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But assuming that stake there next to the fire hydrant, I thought that was used to measure the right of way on Illinois. Is that also supposed to go straight down towards Cedar?
It's the property corner, so it's both rights of way.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, so if that's the case, then that bush on the left would certainly be within the right of way there. And as it goes down farther, there might be a couple bushes within the right of way.
Okay. Well, Khalil, thanks very much. Any
Thank you.
comments or questions for Khalil? Hearing none, and noting that it's 5:34 by my watch, and not wanting to, I didn't want to go over an hour, but I was probably too idealistic. Jeremy, would you object if we just took your notes, plugged them in, and subject to future correction?
Rob, I think Jeremy may not be on the call. I think he had mentioned previously that he may have to pick up his daughter.
Well,
And so he may have gotten off a little bit early.
Okay, then all the more reason for dealing with it as I suggested. So we've done the streets. That were assigned. I will integrate what I heard and what you wrote into the workbook and send it out again. I think we're at the point of looking for the next meeting and maybe the next meeting beyond that.
Okay.
We have an awful lot on our plate. We could meet every week.
Yep.
I don't know if there's appetite for that. So, but let's at least schedule 2 more meetings. What is the appetite on the committee for meeting every week?
Okay with me.
Fine with me.
Dennis.
Say again, Khalil?
Yeah, I'm agreeable to that.
Tim?
I'm agreeable to that.
Whatever it takes. Yes, that's fine.
Linda?
Tentatively okay.
All right. So now let's pick a date for the next 2.
Okay.
Here it is, the 24th. We can't post an agenda before Wednesday the 2nd.
Correct.
But we could post an agenda for Wednesday the 2nd. How does that look for people?
I got Rob. I'll be right back. I forgot to bring my calendar up.
Okay.
Give me 2 minutes.
Yep.
Rob, I could do the 2nd, but it would have to be before 3 o'clock.
And is that Khalil?
Yeah, it's Khalil. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
No, I didn't have my camera up.
Yes, I'll be out of town that evening through Sunday. So, but before 3 or 4 o'clock, I could do.
All right. Well, let's say then, how does 2 o'clock sound? Wait a minute. Wednesday. Yeah, how does 2 o'clock sound?
That works for me.
All right.
Okay.
That gives Khalil 1 hour, correct? Is that right, Khalil?
Well, he said 3 or 4, so maybe you can stretch it a little bit.
Oh no, I can stretch it. Yeah, I mean, I just need
Okay.
in a car that sometime late afternoon, and so
So
Okay.
Wednesday
2 o'clock is fine.
at
If that
2
if that's
o'clock.
convenient.
Okay.
And then we'll check with Dennis when he gets back with his calendar to confirm. But
Okay,
then,
I am here, Rob. Sorry about that.
how does Wednesday the 2nd at 2 o'clock look, Dennis?
Give me a second to get this puppy open. The 2nd at 2 o'clock works.
Okay, and then the 9th isn't great.
Rob, you can get us an agenda by tomorrow morning?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I'll check with other people first. The Rascal Summit is on the 9th and is on the 9th.
It
Right.
doesn't work for me either. I'll be out of town.
Okay.
Yeah, the 9th. Yeah.
When do you get back, Dennis?
Oh, just that day. Just a day trip.
The 10th is the Rascal Summit. Is the 11th available to anybody? Or not available?
I'm
That's when
available
we're
in the morning.
supposed to do the council strategy session.
Right.
Right.
But we could do any time from 3 o'clock on.
Right.
I'm available on the 11th in the afternoon, Rob.
Is anybody not available the afternoon of the 11th?
I'm possibly not available, but what time were you thinking on the 11th?
I was thinking 3.
Okay. I'll make it work. That's fine.
Wonderful. Thank you. 12, 11 at 3, and I think that's good. Then for the agenda, what I plan to put on is the next set of streets and the plan going forward. Does that sound good?
Okay.
That's good.
All right. I think, anybody have anything else? And Anne Marie, can we get the recorded chat on this too?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Great. And thanks very much to all the participants. I'm sorry that we are trying to push so hard. We don't have time to address the chats, but we will read them and take them under advisement, just as we did for the last meeting. So I think we're ready for a motion to adjourn if there's nothing else from the committee.
So moved.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, we're adjourned. Thank you very much. See you on the 2nd.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving all.
Bye.
Thank you. You as well.